Hey, it's Pastor Dan from Dexter Gospel Church with the Proverbs Practical. I appreciate you watching. Today's proverb watches some fascinating processes in motion. We're in Proverbs chapter 30, verses 18 and 19. Proverbs 30, 18 and 19 say, "There be three things which are too wonderful for me, yea, four which I know not. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid." So the writer begins by saying that there are three things that he wonders at. When he says they're too wonderful for him, he doesn't mean they're too good for him. He means he wonders at them. He tries to figure them out and he can't. He can't really comprehend them. And then he applies these to a fourth thing as well. Although the application of the Proverbs are different, the comparisons in this proverb begin by referring back to the eagles of the last proverb. He speaks of the eagle in the air. When a bird, particularly one of the big carrion birds or birds of prey like an eagle or a buzzard, when it soars in the sky, it's often not flapping its wings. It's just circling there, borne on updrafts of heated air. Perhaps more significantly than it being difficult to tell how it's even flying at all, is seeing where it's been. You can't look at a spot in the sky and say, "A bird passed through here 5 minutes ago." Then he speaks of a snake on a rock. Now this can also be a marvel to watch. If you've ever watched a snake winding its way across a hard, smooth surface, it almost looks like magic. It just glides forward and there's no feet moving, no wings flapping, no wheels turning. It just moves. Yet the surface on which it moves is significant too. You can see where a snake has been on sand or dirt, tracing its path, but on a rock you can't look at it and say, "Here's the track of a snake that just passed through here." Then he turns to a ship out on the open water. Now maybe if the ship has oars, you can tell how it's moving, but if it only has sails, as you observe from a distance, you might not even feel the same wind that moves the ship, and the ship won't be going in the exact same direction as the wind anyway. But once again, it's not just how it moves, but where. In close to shore, in shallow or calm water, a ship leaves a wake. You can track it for a little ways. But in the open water, the waves obscure the wake almost instantly, especially for ships of that writer's day. He doesn't have aircraft carriers and cruise liners to look at moving through the sea. The wakes of the vessel of his day would be lost in a moment out in the open water. So the common factors in these first three are that they move by means that are difficult to perceive, and they leave behind no trace that you can see. And then he compares these to a fourth thing, a fourth process, the way of a man with a maid. Now there's some discussion among commentators and scholars about whether he's talking about a romantic relationship of youth, the physical act of sex, the immorality of adultery, different possibilities there. And I'm not scholar enough to enter into that argument. I do know that watching the spring of romance is often mysterious, and though the forces may be known, like thermals in the air or wind upon the sea, it can still be an amazing process to watch, difficult to discern or see coming. And I do know, too, that while some relationships leave marks deep upon a person's heart, you often can't tell those simply by looking at someone, any more than you can tell by looking at the air whether a bird passed through, or the water whether a ship passed through it. It's the limitation of our eyes. We can only see on the outside. We can't see if someone has been an adulterer, whether they are in love, whether they had a tragic romance that ended years before. We only know these things by truly getting to know them or by watching them through it. It's perhaps a warning that we don't know the pain of the past, nor all the deeds of the present for the people that we deal with. And it's especially true of relationships, where people often deliberately mask what has happened and what they're doing. Fortunately, God knows not only where every bird, snake, and boat has been, He knows the past of every heart and the present of every heart. We may not be able to judge at a glance, but He knows all things about all people. I hope this video is a blessing to you. If so, give that thumbs up button a hit to like it, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more insights from the Scriptures. Until next time, I hope you stay well, and remember that God knows more than we do.